Hello everyone, welcome back to intelKeen Skills. This is day 14 of our 30 days code challenge and today we're going to learn scope concept in Python. What is a scope? Scope simply tells us where a variable can be accessed in our program. Okay, and here in scope we have local and class scope. Local scope means the variables inside a method are called local variables and those can be accessed by only that particular method where we declared the variable. Okay, and class scope means variable inside a class, and this is inside a method. And here these class variables can be accessed by all other methods that were in that class. Got it? Let's see with an example. And I'm starting the class. Let's say example. And inside that class I'm starting a method. I'm writing a method named, let's say, show. And here I'm declaring a local variable and I'm assigning a value to it. This is a local variable because I'm declaring that variable inside a method. Okay, and I'm trying to print that value inside the method itself. Now create an object. And here object dot call that method. Now let's run the code and check for the output. Yeah, here we can print the value x. Now let's see the same by printing the value in the another method. See, I am writing another method over here. Let's say the name will be print value. And here in this method I am trying to print the value x, which is declared in the another method. Okay, print x and remove this fourth line here. Now let's call the method print value instead of show. Let's run the code. Yeah, you got an error in the way like name x is not defined because that x is accessible only inside that particular method but not in another method which is in the same class. Got it? So a local variable can be accessed, can be print inside that particular method only but not accessible by all other methods in that class. Now let's see the class scope. Here I am writing another method using constructor def init and self, and I am declaring a variable using self dot variable name as x is equals to, and I'm assigning value 10, and I am trying to access this value in this method. Let's run the code and let's check it. Here you can print the value because the class variable can be accessed by all other methods in that class. And now let's see local scope and class scope side by side so that you will understand it more clear. So for that, here in the method print value, I'm also trying to print the value x without using self.x. Okay, and I'm changing the value for your understanding. Now let's run the code. See here self.x, which is the value 10. 10 is here, and we can print 10 value, which is the class variable. But for printing the value x, which is a local variable, we got an error in the way like x is not defined in that particular method. So that is the difference between the local scope and the class scope in Python. I hope you understand the concept clearly by seeing these examples. Now let's try to understand the problem statement in HackerRank and try to solve it there. Let's go there. Yeah. Now let's try to understand this problem statement. Sure. See here, the absolute difference between two integers a and b is written as modulus a and b, means which is always a positive integer. And the maximum absolute difference between two integers in a set of positive integers means elements. We are storing all the values inside the elements, right? Is the largest absolute difference between any two integers in elements list. The difference class is started for you in the editor. This is the difference class. It is already started for you. It has a private integer array elements in it for storing n non-negative integers, and a public integer named maximum difference. This is the public integer for storing the maximum absolute difference. Public integer means we need to declare it in the form of self dot that name. As they told us, it is a public integer, means the class scope variable. Okay, and our task is to complete the difference class by writing the following. The class constructor that contains an array of integers as a parameters and saves it to the elements instance variable. And a compute difference method. We also need to start a method compute difference that finds the maximum absolute difference between any two numbers in that list and stores it in the maximum difference public integer. Okay, and our input format will be like, here we are not at all responsible for reading any input from stdin. The logged solution in the solution class in the editor reads in 2 lines of input. Okay, and the first line contains n, the size of the elements array. The second line has n space separated integers that describe the elements array. Okay, means for example, I have given the value capital N is equals to 3. Means I am allowed to give 3 values in the list. The way like 1, 2, 3, any 3 space separated values. And then we will calculate the maximum absolute difference among these values and we will store that value in maximum difference. Got it? See here, and the logic here is the maximum difference will always occur in between the maximum value in the list and the minimum value in the list. So initially in the method compute difference, we need to find out the maximum value and the minimum value, and then we need to find the difference among those two values so that we will get the maximum difference from that list, and we will store that value in maximum difference public integer and we will print over here. That is what our task is. Now let's write the code. Now, as I told you, we need to declare a variable which is a public class scope variable with self keyword self dot, and the variable name is maximum difference here is equals to let's initialize with 0 here, and we need to write another method def, and the method name is compute difference, and in this method we need to find out the maximum and minimum values among the elements list. Maximum is equals to max of self dot elements, and in the same way find out the minimum value. Minimum value using min, and then find out the absolute difference among these two values. Self dot, which is the variable maximum difference here, is equals to absolute of maximum minus minimum. Okay, that is it, and no need of writing, no need of changing any of this below code. So just run the code and check for the output. Yeah, everything went well, and let's submit the code and check for all the test cases. Yeah, all test cases are passed. Yeah, that is all for today. If you really like this video, please like and subscribe to intelKeen Skills. Thank you so much. Bye bye.